Greetings, my fellow eagles and the entire world. This is Eagle Emmanuel Mensah with inspirations and guidance from Eagle Helen Mensah in the unseen world, coming into your homes and your minds with a message of empowerment and enlightenment. Today is the 10th of June in the year 2024, and the Bible says this is the day the Lord has made, and therefore we should rejoice and be glad in it. And for that matter, I take this opportunity to invite the whole world to join me to give thanks to God for the day that He has granted unto us. And life in general, life is beautiful, life is wonderful, life is glorious, life is God Himself, flowing through all things, including mankind. Today, I'm going to speak to you on the topic, every great thing was at first a feeble and a gentle thought. I repeat, every great thing, good or bad, or every big thing, good or bad, was at the beginning a feeble and a gentle thought. Today, we are looking at the power of thought and how the thoughts that we entertained eventually or gradually grows to become giant situations, good or bad, in our lives. So every human being has a mind, and the only thing that we cannot stop doing is to think. And as we think, we generate thoughts. And as a matter of fact, the generation of thought is actually the art of thinking. And so every human being goes through situations, and collectively as a group of people too, we co-create our own life situations. But mostly we tend to turn around, and then we blame people, we blame other things as being the cause of it, but without taking into consideration how we have allowed our thought patterns to grow. The equivalent of the thought patterns you are entertaining is the equivalent of things and situations that are appearing in your life. They are the same. And therefore, as a normal human being or an intelligent being that we are all are, the only thing that we have to do is to pay attention to what we are seeing in our lives and how we are habitually thinking and feeling in relation to what we are seeing. And if we do this practically, purposefully, with all our efforts, we will discover that it is our own way of thinking and our own patterns of thought that are manifesting in our lives as our life experiences. And so you will see that every habit, particularly in our life, every habit was once a simple thought. Everything that we are seeing, the greatest invention, the greatest war that had ever been fought, or that will ever be waged, were just simple thoughts. One person sat down, then a thought dropped into the person's mind. He begins to think about it. He begins to think about it. And then more and more and more of the thoughts joins, and then it grows to become something that becomes chronic. And that at that point, it takes over the person's whole being. And by the law of attraction, similar people are drawn into it. And by the time you realize this pattern of thought has become real things in our life, and this is how we create our realities, this is how we create our situations. And therefore, whatever condition, whatever situation you are going through, especially some of the habits, some of the situations that individually we are finding it difficult to overcome, are not anything that is caused by anyone, but they are just the manifestation of our own thought. They have grown to become chronic. And so whatever habit, whatever situation you are going through, you only have to become awakened to this fact that it started with just a simple thought. Then you followed it with multiple thoughts. And as you begin to think about it, it grows and attracts more and more and more supporting ones, and that situation has grown to become what you are today. Therefore, if you want to change it, you must go through the same process. A simple, a feeble, or gentle positive thought. that you keep on watering it every day, every day, every day, will grow to become a giant positive situation that will dislodge or will overthrow the negative situation or behavior, whatever you are going through, that you want to change. And so our life is simply a matter of our thought patterns. And if we become awakened to this, and then we begin to change our way of thinking, taking control of our thought processes, then we have key or we have answers to all our challenges and situations. And so, whenever you are going through anything, do not look at it that it is someone's creation. Yeah, other people may come in, they are as corporate components of what you are creating. The law of attraction and the laws in the universe brings us together based on how we mirror each other in thought. And so it is the same thing that the same thing with inventions, great ideas, or all negative situations. Everything begins as a simple thought. Just as we sow a simple or one grain of corn, and then this grain grows to become a giant grain, a giant cornstalk, and bear multiples of fruits or multiples of seeds of its nature. And so your thought will not give you anything different from their nature, what they are. And therefore, you need to wake up. The greatest things that we need to pay attention to, the greatest thing that we need to train ourselves to be aware and to work with is the knowledge and understanding about our thoughts. Your thoughts are your own self. Your thoughts or your life experiences are the manifestation of your own thoughts. There is nothing greater or bigger than this, or smaller or lesser than this. This is the truth. And therefore, whatever you are going through, whatever you are seeing, whatever you are experiencing in your life, if you don't like it, there is nothing you can do about it except you changing your thought process. So your mind is a powerful mind, it's a powerful tool. And your thoughts are the only thing that we generate using our minds to create our own reality, to create our situations and experiences. And so do not look at situations that you are going through right now as something that came spontaneously, something that came uh, all of a sudden. But it is a matter of simple, simple and gradual accumulation of thoughts, thought upon thought upon thought, that it has become what you are. And if we are to take ourselves back to our secondary and elementary school stage, we learned in geography how rocks are formed. Some of the rocks are formed by the accumulation of grains of sand. So as they accumulate, and the weather condition and other things comes in, they come together to form a cluster, and then one grain attached to another one grain attached to the other, then they come together to form rocks. And so it is with your life, and so it is with every habit, every situation that you are battling with. It did not start last night, or it did not just start today. And it is not someone who is doing it to you, but it is your own practice thoughts that that are manifesting in your life. Therefore, if you don't like what you are seeing, change it. And as I have already mentioned, and it is a very key thing that we need to take into consideration, your life is, or your current circumstances, your current situations are old news. They were created in the past based on your line of thinking, and they are being shown to you right now. And therefore, if you want to break that pattern, there is no any other way than you changing your thought pattern. It may be difficult, but there is no other way, but you have to change it. You are a human being, and you have the power and ability to do it. It's just, this is the area, the only point that you need your willpower to discipline yourself, to control yourself. And one of the main thing that you can use to control, to guide your mind, to guide your thoughts to what you want, is to pay attention to how you are feeling. Your feeling is the indicator. Your feeling is the messages to you as to as to whether you are in alignment with yourself or you are out of alignment with yourself. And you know it. No human being can say that he or she doesn't know how he or she is feeling. So the feeling you are going through, the feeling you are receiving, ask yourself, do I want this? If you don't want it, then it means your thoughts have to change. And as soon as you change your thoughts, your feelings too will change. As soon as your thoughts changes from pain to happiness, joy, then you know you are in tune with your higher self. You are in tune with God. And therefore, you are co-creating a beautiful and a wonderful life for your future. And therefore, your future is nothing than what you are doing right now. Your future is nothing than what you are doing right now. Therefore, if you are not feeling good, if you are feeling bad, if you are all that you are going through is pain right now, then know that your future will be painful. That is a fact. Therefore, change it. You have the power to change your thought process. And so this is how our thought creates our own realities. Everything at the root of everything is a thought. And it all starts with just a simple thought. And then we emotionalize it. Then we talk about it. We pour more water to it. And as we do that, you will see that it grows to become something big. Then we turn around and say, oh, this is catastrophic. This is something that people have brought upon me, enemies, whatever, the devil. But there is no devil in this world other than the one that you have in you. And that is your line of thinking. That is the only devil. And so the way to do this is to take this analogy. Take two plants of the same nature, in the same condition, and then begin to water them. Water the two of them for 1 week. You will observe that as you give both plants the same condition, they all will grow at the same level, at the same rate. Given all conditions are the same. And then after the 1 week, stop watering one and then continue watering the other. You will see that the one that you are watering will prosper. And then the one that you are not watering will begin to die. Why? Because the necessary attention, condition that is needed for the growth of these two plants or the other one has been taken away. And so that is how your life is. You have two plants in your life. There is a positive one and a negative one. But at the moment, you are only experiencing the negative one. That means you have stopped watering the positive one and you are only watering the negative one by your thoughts. Now, the only thing you have to do is to bring in the positive one and begin to water it and take your mind and the attention off the negative one. As you begin to think in the positive, at the beginning, it will be very challenging, but it is doable. As you begin to train yourself, as you begin to do this, looking for all avenues, every situation, everything that will bring you to a level of joy and happiness, at least for a moment in every day. You make it a habit that every morning you find something to make yourself happy. You meditate. You do all kinds of spiritual exercise. Then you will see that you are watering your positive aspect of your life. And as you do that, you will realize that your life begins to grow along those positive thoughts. And since you are now living or taking your attention from the negative one begins to go away. There is no way that you can beat or you can destroy your negative thoughts. The only way you can destroy or you can do away with your negative thought is to begin to concentrate on an opposite one. The reason is that your mind can contain only one line of thought. And therefore, you cannot think about two things at the same time. So if you don't want what you are going through now, then stop thinking about it. And then begin to think about a different way, a direct opposite of it. It will begin as a simple thought, as I started. Every great thing, a big or a negative habit started as a thought. So as you begin to think only in the positive and in the positive and negating or neglecting the negative thoughts, they will become dormant. They will no more be active in your system. And that is when you will realize that positive thinking becomes a habit. But this habit too was started with just a simple thought. So do not try to, change your life situation or conditions by just thinking that it will go away once. No, the process that the habit went through to become a chronic one, it is the same way that it has to be dealt with. You need an opposite thought that you will pour more water on it, more water on it. That is the positive one. And as you water it, as in the plants, a two plants analogy, the one that you are watering will become prosperous, and the one that you are not watering will die off because the conditions that are needed for it to grow are no more there. And so your thoughts are simply seeds that you are sowing by the use of your mind. And this will become a reality in your life. Therefore, if you don't like what you are going through right now, if you don't like what you are going through right now to repeat in your life, then change that line of thoughts. Practice only positive thought. Anything that will make you happy, think about that. It doesn't necessarily have to be the topic that you want to change, but you are only using a different topic to distract your mind, to take your mind off thinking that. And as you sow these crops, as you sow these seedlings on your mental plot, they will grow to germinate. They will germinate to grow to become beautiful and a prosperous life. And so this is how lives are created, and this is how lives are changed. Lives are changed. You can change your life. You can change your circumstances. You can change your conditions at any moment in life. But it all depends on your determination to switch your mind off from off the negative things to the positive things. You can create your life. You can recreate every situation in your life. But it only depends on the condition that you take control of your mind and then begin to look at things in the positive. Rise above every situation. And so your life that you're going through started from weeks, months, even years ago. In the same way, every great thing that we have seen people created, the best thing that we have had in the world as the greatest invention, the greatest achievement, started as a simple thought. Just a simple thought. And thought upon thought upon thought upon thought, they grew to become what we have seen them. The First and Second World War, the great wars and other things we have heard of in the world, started as a simple thought in the mind of the originators. Then they thought about it. As they were thinking about it, more and more were drawn to it through the world by the work of the law of attraction. And today we talk of the wars, the great wars, the most dangerous wars, the longest wars. Yes, are examples of the power of our thoughts. Therefore, change your line of thinking, change your thinking, change your thought process. You are created in the image and the likeness of God. You are a God in an earthly body. Therefore, your true nature is positive thinking. Your true nature is to feel good. Your true nature is anything good that we know of. For God is only good. And once we change our thought process, once we change our thinking, and we allow our mind to only dwell only the positive aspect of things that we want, there is no way that we will not change our life, we will not transform our life from negative to positive. So you are a creator. Rise up. The criteria, the mechanism by which you will know what you are creating is your feelings. Therefore, always pay attention to how you feel. Pay attention to what you feel based on what you are thinking. And once you take control of what you're feeling, you have control of your life. That is my message for you. Now, may the overshadowing presence of God that keeps the stars in the open and keep the planets in their orbit such that you do not clash with one another, keep and direct you, lead you, such that you take control of your life, you take control of your mind, and think and feel only the things that you want to see in your life. For you are the creator of your own reality. Thank you and God bless you.